تفضلوا. Thank you, Tumi, for the kind introduction. Good morning again, and thank you for joining us for this discussion panel titled Attracting Global Innovation, Digital Finance and Progressive Regulation. This session examines how forward-thinking regulatory approaches, digital infrastructure development, and technology adoption position jurisdictions as preferred hubs for modern financial services, and how digitalization serves as both a catalyst for attracting capital and a mechanism for financial stability, whilst expanding financial inclusion across populations and business segments. To discuss this topic, it is our pleasure to have with us His Excellency Mr. Khalid Humaidan, Governor of the Central Bank of Bahrain, and Mr. Martin Gilbert, Chairman of Revolut. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time with us today. Your Excellency, let us start by laying the ground for our conversation. This morning we were talking about Bahrain's diversification plans, and the financial services sector plays a pivotal role in that. Could you tell us how in supporting those diversification plans?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to start off by thanking our hosts, the Economic Development Board. I'd like to also thank the organizing team. And most of all, I'd like to thank our guests. It's an honor to share the stage with an inspiring fintech company, Revolut. And I think I want to start off with an obvious statement. We all can agree that the future is digital, and in order for us to remain relevant, we need to prioritize digital. Financial services is a very important sector in Bahrain. It's a large sector. It's an important source of foreign direct investment, and it's an important source of jobs. When it comes to contribution to GDP, today financial services contribute 17% to the GDP of the country. This milestone was achieved at the end of 22, where it became the largest sector in our economy, and until today, financial services is the largest sector in our economy. In terms of foreign direct investment, 2/3 of foreign direct investment are in financial services. It says several things. Number one, financial services is important to Bahrain. Number two, it's an attractive sector for investments. And in terms of jobs in financial services pay twice what the average salary is in the economy. For all of these reasons, it's a very important sector, and we have big ambitions. We think that the largest sector in the economy can continue to grow.
Very interesting, and also the financial sector is also an enabler for many other sectors in the economy. Before we discuss that point, of course, we have with us the chairman of Revolut, and I'm sure everybody would like to hear, how did Revolut become what it is today?
Yeah, it's been a remarkable success story. I mean, we're either the most downloaded or second most downloaded app globally. We have about 4 million downloads a month and sign up 2 million customers a month. So it's been remarkable. But it's because of the ease of use of the app and that ability to do everything you can on the app. Only this morning I was teaching Lord Grimstone how to invest some money on the in deposit and how to buy some commodities. And I think he was actually going to buy some crypto as well, but we drew the line at that. So it's just a remarkable product. As I say, grows at 2 million a month, 1 million from existing referrals, and 1 million from growth. We're the biggest spender on marketing in Europe now. We spend 500 to 600 million growing the business. So it does show the scale necessary to actually grow a global app. Most of our competitors are actually local. So we're one of the few sort of global sort of super apps I would classify us as.
But you guys disrupted the sector, and I mean, how worried are you of being disrupted?
Yeah, I mean, we disrupt the traditional incumbent banks, and I suppose one of the things you always fear is that the incumbent banks actually come back and disrupt you. But But we have fierce competition in all the markets we are in. The local competitors, so in the UK it would be Monzo, say in Europe it would be N26 in Germany, but very, very few other global competitors. But yeah, you've obviously got a fear being disrupted, and one of the things the CEO, the remarkable CEO Revolut has, Nick Storonsky, one of the things he focuses on is that relentless drive to be more efficient, to grow, get market share before others come in and challenge us.
Your Excellency, from a regulator perspective, how do you see digitalization disrupting or changing the financial services landscape?
I think it's clear financial service is going through a journey towards more and more digitalization, and that is unlocking growth opportunities and is also unlocking and creating the jobs that we desire. I'd like to give two examples of what we've seen in Bahrain where digital financial services is helping grow and create jobs. One of them is relatively basic, and another one is slightly more sophisticated. First example I'd like to give is instant payments in the country. This is possibly the most basic form of financial services, is one person pays another person. And that could be done. It used to be done in a physical form, now it's more likely to be done in a digital form. And Bahrain has invested in that with our infrastructure. We have reached a point where we're probably leading the world when it comes to instant payments. We're averaging 25 payments per person per month in Bahrain. Just to give you a sense, small country, a population of around 1.5 million, we're expecting somewhere around 500 million instant payments in 2025. I think that is good. With that, we're able to do many things. We have a wage protection scheme. We have an advanced credit scoring system where not only can we tell the basics of a credit score are how current is a corporate in terms of their adhering to their financing facilities, but we can see all the payments, because they're digital, in and out of a corporate. There's a lot of data there, and the same thing with salaries. We know who's getting paid when. All of that information is a lot of data. When analyzed, will give us a very good sense of what's happening in our economy, and it helps policymakers come up with the right growth initiatives. And it gives banks a lot of data when the consent is obtained, where they can analyze that data and decide who to lend money to. Another example would be something slightly more sophisticated, which is an investment platform. We're seeing several homegrown investment platforms come in, partner up with very good platforms around the world, and we're beginning to see world-first platforms and services being launched in Bahrain. Some of them are Islamic, and some of them give accredited investors in the region access to private and public markets. Obviously, this benefits the investor because they're able to now expand the type of investments they can come up with. In addition to that, the partnerships will increase the liquidity and will increase the visibility of local and regional investments to international. So there's multiple ways where digital is helping grow financial services.
Let's hear from you, Mr. Gilbert. What are the innovations that you're seeing, not only what Revolut is doing, but also what others are doing? What are the most recent innovations in the financial services sector?
I would say, first of all, just picking up on the governor's point, we have an 80%, that's 80 market percent share in Ireland. So we know more about what people are spending in Ireland than anyone else does. And we supply that data to the central government just so that they can see what people are spending on. What I have to say is, I think Bahrain are at the forefront of innovation and if they can progress these direct payment lines where instant transfer with countries round about, it will be a game changer for Bahrain. But on innovation, I mean, what we're trying to do is just create the app that you can do everything on one app, as I say, so that you don't have to move from one app to another, So you don't have your banking on one, your investment on another, your crypto on another, whatever it might be on another. So everything is about that innovation. That's where we're really pushing. I hate to use the word AI, but it is having a profound effect on efficiency within these digital apps. In that now, if you have a problem with your Revolut app and you go into a chat with someone, it is likely to be AI-driven. The good thing about AI-driven, we've found, is the answer is more accurate, it's clearer to the customer, and also they don't go off shift after 8 hours, they stay on. Now, so I know that sounds a flippant remark, but it's a very important point in that it keeps that conversation going with the customer rather than transferring to another agent, or that agent leaving it for 16 hours till they come back on shift. So we've found that those are the sort of innovations. So despite doubling customer numbers, we've managed to keep the agents who deal with the customers to the same level. So those are the sort of innovations we're seeing. Every year we have what we call new bets on the app, and we try something to see if it works, and if it works, it's great. So a great new bet for us was business banking, for instance. And what we found, every country around the world, it's really hard for a business to open a new bank account. And in order to start your business, you need a bank account. So we'll open a bank account for a new business in 5 minutes. Some of our rivals take 3 months. So it's those sort of things of really what's really pushed Revolut where it is.
Your Excellency, it's very important to bring this innovation to our jurisdiction. So how are you as a regulator approaching innovation and enabling that in your jurisdiction?
I think not only is financial services being disrupted and the players in financial services, central banking itself is being disrupted. And we think that with the use of technology and digital tools, it's going to be a very different role that central banks play. We're investing in 2 key projects for the Central Bank of Bahrain. One of them is to do with payments, and the second one is to do with supervision technology. In addition to what we've done on the instant payments, there's more that we want to do when it comes to interbank payments. We want to incorporate better collateral management, and we want to incorporate securities as part of the collateral management system. That will make it easier and better and safer for banks to be able to transfer money. And as Martin said, an open economy like Bahrain, payment railways with the rest of the world are very, very important for us. Linking our banks internationally in the best way possible is very important. Another thing that we want to do on the payments is central bank digital currency. We're starting to study this, trying to understand how can we identify use cases for a very digital economy. It's obvious to identify use cases if we're talking about an economy that's not very digital. But for a digital economy like Bahrain, where we have very advanced payments, central bank digital currency could be useful, and we're trying to be one of the countries that is able to identify the proper use cases for that. Second project, supervision technology. That's the core of the regulation. This is the reporting that we have between us and our licensees. Right now, we rely on periodic reports that come to us from our licensees. We know that the information that we are trying to analyze is stored digitally with our licensees. If we improve our ability to be able to pull that information almost on a real-time basis, it is a game changer, where we have a comprehensive, complete, holistic view of the entire sector and all of the flows and all of the links between them. It will obviously increase safety, increase efficiency, and this will be a very desired jurisdiction because we use digital tools to make it even better. and with the use of all the advanced technology, when it comes to data mining, when it comes to predictable capabilities, it's going to make us better regulators.
Mr. Gilbert, as we heard now, I mean, all of the GCC countries have plans to diversify their economies, and attracting different categories of investments is at the core of that. As someone who has dealt with regulators for a very long time, you have a very long career. You set up Aberdeen Asset Management in '83. So can you tell us from experience what attracts you and investors to a certain jurisdiction? What is required?
I think, you know, it's great to deal with Bahrain. The governor is very open, very accessible. Those are the two things that are really important to us when we're going to meet regulators, and innovative as well, I would say. We deal with regulators, or I have been dealing with regulators all over the world for many, many years, and it's great to operate in a country like Bahrain. It's interesting, the countries that want Revolut in quite quickly. So I use Philippines as a good example. At the moment, a remittance from, say, here to the Philippines is costing someone in the Philippines 400 basis points, 4%. So the frictional cost is 4%. What we are doing with the Philippine regulator is talking, and we will charge 30 basis points, or 0.25%. And the savings to citizens in the Philippines are running into hundreds and hundreds of millions. So also regulators also have to decide if they want their banking system disrupted as well. Some countries are quite protective. Some countries, the incumbent banks have an enormous amount of influence.
Lobbying.
Yeah, lobbying. That sort of, so yeah, it's great to come here, and like the governor, I would also like to sort of say how effective EDB are as well, mainly because the regulator was CEO before, as you know. So it's really refreshing to come here and deal with accessible government ministers.
Are you looking at getting licenses in the region?
Well, I think yes. I mean, we would love to operate. This region is fantastic. I mean, it's our ideal customer base, because our average customer is 35. And you look at the region, there is a lot of very young, it's a young region, so it fits our sort of demographic profile that we like. And I wouldn't underestimate how important the first point the governor made on rails to other countries for Bahrain are, because that to me is a real game changer for what is a small country surrounded by bigger countries. If Bahrain can set up those sort of rails, and it will be really, really helpful to attracting banks or financial service companies here in Bahrain.
Your Excellency, to conclude, I remember that Bahrain, when Fintech was just starting, Bahrain was the first to set up a sandbox and encourage innovation in that space. But as a regulator, you have to balance between innovation on one hand and prudential oversight on the other. So how do you manage that balance?
I think what you mentioned is important. This is a key question, is we can't forget our dual mandate. We are responsible for the stability of the system and growth. And I don't think that it's one at the expense of the other. Obviously, with digital, there's new elements of risks that are being introduced. Cybersecurity is important. Privacy is important. As the data gets replicated in multiple places and access starts to increase by different stakeholders, we need to make sure the data is protected and privacy of the people who own the data is protected. At the same time, we don't forget the main principles when it comes to stability. Compliance is important, governance is important. Managing and understanding and anticipating systemic risk is important. Consumer protection is important. And we also understand that the world is changing and behavior is changing. Because of that, that has implications on liquidity, And as non-banks start to perform banking services, we need to safeguard the ability of institutions to lend, because the economy can only grow if there is access to finance. All of this can be done, and we've done this in the past, and we will continue doing this, is by being close to the industry and working and learning from the experience of other countries. I think that's the only way. No single regulator could have all of the knowledge they need to manage, but collectively, there's enough knowledge that can be shared, that can be discussed, where we can safely incorporate digital tools and get the benefits of digitalization without jeopardizing the stability of our system.
And that's a perfect conclusion for our conversation today. Your Excellency,
Thank you.
Mr. Gilbert, thank you very much for your time with us today and sharing your insights. Thank you.
Thank you.